So as a result of being hurt by your own business, you then start separating mentally from your business. And while I am making it easy to understand, there are so many aspects within just this. You stop following up, you stop being responsible, you stop focusing on what your staff is doing, and next thing you know, there are costly mistakes that are taking place. You're losing cash flow. You're not meeting your milestones. You're on the verge of losing vendors because in this stage too, you don't care. The responsibilities are not important to you anymore because you're just trying to survive. You're doing the auto, you're building an auto, you just operating automatically. You're getting out the bed. Oh, here we go. You're driving to the office. Here we go. You're trying to avoid responsibility. Hey, how many meetings I have? Can you reschedule that? Because I don't want to. But here is the thing. It's so much pride that you can't even tell anybody what's going on mentally. Now, there are phases as this continues. There are phases that can go into anxiety. There are phases that can go into depression as time lingers on. Remember, you're putting energy towards something that's not working and you are exhausted. Your vision is no longer clear. Your mission is no longer relevant. And you must see yourself, because this is already at stage 3, what I'm describing. I've learned that there are levels of stages.
And once a person notices or identifies that this is happening to them, they're experiencing burnout, what would be a good first step? Because I think exactly like you're saying, when you're in those stages, you haven't even realized, but you've already gone through the different phases. So what would be your advice on like a good first thing to do when you notice or recognize that you're seeing these red flags?
Well, keep note to this before I really answer that. Keep note that you really don't know this is you until it's too costly, until the evidence starts showing. You're not taking money home. You're using your savings. With a small business owner, as an example, you're using your savings to save your business. You don't notice until boom. So I went through burnout 5 years in a row and not really understanding what was going on until the big blast began to show. I know that I was different. I know that I wasn't pushing myself as hard. I know that I was resentful of my business, but it didn't start off that way. So the starting point, the first recognition for an individual would be understanding how much stress you're under. Being aware of yourself. How am I acting? How am I feeling? How am I showing up for my life? And if it's different from the places that you evaluated yourself to be within a healthy mindset, a happy mindset, then it's time to evaluate.
Yeah, I think that's really good advice. Okay, this next question, you've been talking about this, and I love that you've been putting the examples as small business owner examples, but I think we all know that business owners are busy, right? That just like comes with being an entrepreneur. So do you have any time management suggestions on how you can maybe effectively plan or avoid burnout in the future?
Yes. I built a system called the Order of Organization. And if I would have had it would have helped me. Would it have saved everything? Potentially, yes and no. Because the structure of your day is relevant to the energy that you maintain. And with that being stated, if you understand how to manage your energy versus your time, then you'll be more effective throughout the day. For an example, So the order of organization has three parts. The first part is consistent of writing down everything you have to do. Brain dump, get it out. Everything that you have to do, whether it's personal, whether it is work, whether it's community. Get it out. Write it on one sheet of paper. After you get everything out of your brain, which takes energy, by the way, then you extract from that list. For an example, the next step in the order of organization, you would identify quadrants. So first you would look at your list. You would identify trends. You would name the trends. Okay, let's see here. I have to go to the hairdresser because I have an interview tomorrow. Okay, I have to go pick up my suit from the dry cleaner. I have to make several calls that are relevant to the technicians coming out to the house, right? So you can start listing those categories. So I would say the dry cleaner and getting my hair done would be personal. That would be one category inside of its box, a quadrant. Another category would be, okay, I've got to, and the technicians would also be personal too, because they're coming out to your home, not your business, not the corporate office. Another couple of things that would be on your list is making arrangements for a business trip or conference that my boss just advised me that I have to go to. Make those arrangements. So that could be travel in that quadrant. And the list goes on and on based on the amount of trends you see from your list. Now, somebody may say, how should this list be a weekly list, a daily list? It really matters based on how you operate. Because a lot of things that I write on my initial list, it isn't what I can do in a day. It may be what I can do in a week. So once I get the quadrants completed, the next step is to organize them in two separate ways. Number one, I'm going to see how long does it take for me to complete this task from A to Z. If I need to go to the dry cleaner, how long would it take me to leave the house, to the dry cleaner, back to the house? I would incorporate real time. All right. Once I do that for all of my quadrants, everything in the list separate, then I will put them in order by the least amount of time. If it takes me 10 minutes just to get the mail, if it takes me 30 minutes, I am putting the organization towards the shortest period of time per task. That's how I maintain my energy. That's how I maintain motivation, because if I can get 3 things done within 5 to 10 minutes and I'm checking off my list, oh, I'm doing something here. Now, somebody may say, well, those aren't really working tasks, or those aren't important tasks, right? That may be the case. However, even if you put important tasks on there, you still do this particular system and you complete the least timing task. That's how you maintain your energy. That's how you get a lot off of your list. And next thing you know, you're finished way before you're thinking. And you're reducing the lag time between getting caught up in busy work, unnecessary work, the emails, right? And etc.
That's great advice. I need to get better about doing that and putting my things in different boxes and categories. Okay, so you obviously do a lot to help other individuals. Mm-hmm. What motivates you to do that, and what do you attribute your success to?
Okay, first and foremost, it is my calling, point blank, period. I knew it from a child. Adults used to come to me and talk to a child. I was always wise for my age. So what I did was I learned to piece together my skills. And I learned that very young. So I didn't waste time in my growth and my education. I stayed on course. So I started being a medical provider very early. Okay, that's number one. Who do I contribute my success to? A lot of people say, you know, my higher power gave me the strength. My mother gave me the vision and the motivation of what hard work mean. And I gave myself permission to be who I was called and designed to be.
I love that. Some people just have that feeling in them, and it's great when you do feel that and are pulled to it because it can help so many other people. So thanks for helping others. How do you define success for yourself? Like, what does success look like? I think you made a really good point about sometimes little achievements can help
Mm-hmm.
you kind of get that momentum you need,
Mm-hmm.
but how do you classify success, or how do you identify that for yourself?
The easiest way is success is classified by how close you are to your goal. And as you get older, goals change. My goal for myself has changed. My dream was to be a medical provider and have agencies and clinics that would be able to help people left and right. I've accomplished that. So the next thing I have to ask myself, or I had to ask myself, is what was the next dream? What was the next goal? So the closer you are to achieving your particular dreams through actionable steps, then that's what I call success.
Yep. I think that's good. Break it down to the piecemeal, actionable things you can do. Okay. I think I only have one or two questions left. Only 1% of C suite leaders are Black women.
Mhm.
How have you created a seat for yourself at the table?
Well, being a Black woman as well as so those are two minority stakes all in itself, African American as well as a woman. So making a stake for myself is understanding clarity of my message to the world. And as I begin to share my message to the world in the multifaceted way that I do so, it provides me a seat all around, number one, because I understand the psychology of people. I understand behavior. I can assess and analyze and provide legally diagnosis. But that's not necessarily what we're looking to do when we're working with burnout recovery. What we're looking to do with burnout recovery is take the skills that I have as a mental health provider, as a business owner, as a previous holding leadership positions, and incorporating how do we become resilient? How are we resilient and have agile to the emotional impacts in our day? Because that in itself is a real energy zapper. Meeting to
Yeah.
meeting, staff problems to staff problems, policies changing left and right, the lack of resources left and right. How do we stand tall and be resilient and do what we have to do? And speaking of African Americans, one of the cultural components that we are taught as a young girl from our mother, because they were taught, and then the mothers of the mothers were taught, were to be resilient, stand up despite what you don't have and make it work.
You have such strength and such a great way of explaining your perspective. Okay, any last general advice or nuggets that you wanted to leave our readers with that I maybe didn't tee you up for?
Yeah, I would like to say to our leaders and to our small business owners, it's very hard to admit needing help. And so we hold so much pride. I encourage you to join a community, join someone who understands, that will help you to be able to relieve the stress and the gut wrenching day to day that you are experiencing, to help you, because you don't have to live that way. You don't have to be afraid. You don't have to have anxiety. You don't have to have depressed mood. You don't have to be stressed at all. If you learn how to manage your energy, number one, in order to manage your time, then you can be more efficient without being drained. And so I would encourage you, stand up for yourself by getting help. It is not embarrassing. And I also provide confidential service. I understand how important it is to hold your information in secret. I'm equipped for that, and I can help you. Visit me at chantaygolson.com and let's have a conversation.
This was such a fabulous interview. I feel all like jazzed up to get myself in order and get my goals together. So thank you so much for making the time for me. I'm going to send this over to our writer Amanda, and I'll CC Allie on it. And then I'll let you know if we need anything else from you or have additional questions, and then we'll send you the piece once it's live.
Okay, I certainly appreciate this opportunity with the great business. Yep, and I look forward to seeing the interview.
It was so great talking to you and working with you. Thanks for taking my day off really well.
Absolutely. Have a beautiful day. We'll speak
You
later.
too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Recording stop.